Sup, guys? We're in the middle of nowhere.
Motherfucker.
Alrighty, we're on the air. Thank you for making that so anticlimactic.
It's this goddamn wind. I feel
He's a little shriek.
it's the long COVID.
This bitch, don't even say that. Dude, the US government is fucked for that.
I wanted to make that joke on this podcast at this moment. So I searched up what long COVID was, and it's basically COVID but long-term effects. It's exactly what the name sounds like.
What is long COVID? Some people who have been infected with the virus that causes COVID-19 can experience long-term effects from their infection, known as long COVID or post-COVID conditions. Long COVID is broadly defined as signs, symptoms, and conditions that continue or develop after COVID-19 infection.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. It's not long COVID. I just probably got a cold or something. But
Yeah, it's like season change type shit.
maybe. I don't know.
Dude, have you seen the vaccines that are doing blood clots on people?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, out of all 4 vaccines, there's only 2 left because they had to take 2 out of market. I think Pfizer and Moderna are the only ones left. The J&J, the J and Johnson, and then this Adzerna. I don't know the name of the other one, but those got taken off. And
Bro, we have never needed 4 doses in a span of like a year or 2
and
for something like this.
and they were free, bro. Like,
I
why
know.
were they free?
When have vaccines been free?
It doesn't make sense. I think that's a really bad sign.
Bro, the government gives nothing for free. Why would they give that for free if it didn't have something that they wanted to happen to people?
Bro, Bill Gates said that there was nanotech in the vaccines.
Bill Gates said that?
Yeah, well, not directly, but it was kind of indirectly. Here, do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
Look. Bill Gates admits the shots contain nanotech. Yeah, Greg Reese posted this on X, saying that Bill Gates admits the shots contain nanotech. The shots being the vaccines.
Like what type of nanotech?
Well, I'm just going based on what I saw on X, but listen to what Bill Gates says right here.
In the next 5 years, we can, we just need to mess around. There's a lot of lipid nanoparticles, and some are very self-assembling. There's no inherent reason it's not thermostable, it's not cheap, and it's not scalable. And so, as over the 5 years, we fix that part of it, mature it, which is very typical, we'll be able to build factories worldwide that can make $2 vaccines with even less lead time than we've had to have here during this pandemic.
Bill says these mRNA shots can easily be programmed to administer any type of spike protein pathogen. And the Moderna patent lists several, over 100 pathogens that can be control released over time so that deaths will appear to be random and mysterious.
What the heck?
So the deaths. Also, this. I don't know what kind of credibility this guy does have. I know that he's with Alex Jones on Infowars. But, I mean, if like Bill Gates said it, like that, there's a lot of nanoparticles.
Nanoparticles that are self-assemble.
Yeah.
Self-assembly.
Like already, like with logical thinking, that doesn't make sense. That seems like a science fiction horror movie.
Yeah. That seems like a... What is that movie from Will Smith? It's a shitty movie.
Was it with Jaden Smith too?
What? Pursuit of Happiness? No.
No. That's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
That's
No, the one with the robots that he's fighting.
Oh, iRobot.
iRobot. I was gonna say I Am Legend, but no, that's the zombies, right? After like an apocalyptic type shit.
That one's good too.
Yeah.
That one's really good.
But iRobot? Honestly, I don't remember it. I watched it once and I was like, eh.
I got scared of it when I was a kid, so I don't really remember it based on my brain numbing it and muting it. But
Bro. I repeat, or we repeat, Wall-E is gonna happen.
in the future,
Or like they're just gonna create an army of people that, or like you haven't seen Divergent, huh?
No.
Or maybe Divergent, to whoever has seen Divergent, creating an army of people by being able to control, like putting them to sleep, but they're like moving and being soldiers.
I was watching this podcast with Jordan Peterson like last night up until today with a Canadian lawyer. And
Canadian lawyer?
yeah, like he teaches at Queen's University. I think it's a popular university in Canada.
Yeah.
But Jordan Peterson is Canadian. And there's this thing going on right now where Justin Trudeau's trying to pass a bill that's called the C-63 bill. And it's basically going to imprison anyone that uses hate speech online. So,
Bro, is it gonna imprison everyone?
yeah, if you've used hate speech previously, before the bill, and after the bill was stated, then the maximum sentence to the C-63 bill is life in prison.
For telling someone, fuck you, bitch?
For using hate speech. But the thing is, the funny thing from the podcast that I got was that there's different groups that are exempt from being hated on. Like whites. Like anyone can hate on whites and nothing bad will happen with the C-63
Oh, so
bill.
you can be racist to a white person?
Yeah, you can be racist to a white person because of how the society is structured now. Like it's fine to make fun of white people. Like it's the wokeism thing. So like in Canada, if you make fun of a white person and the C-63 bill is like already passed, nothing bad will happen. So you can use hate speech towards white people.
Bro. Like it's cuz to a certain extent I feel like making fun of white people has become like a meme.
Yeah.
But everyone over here preaching about equality and all this BS, like they don't really equality whenever it's being done to you, but once it's not, you're not gonna.
Yeah, one of the guests was on the podcast said some animals are more equal than the others.
Some animals are more equal than the others.
Yeah. So like he was saying how like some animals are more equal, like they deserve more equality, equal rights, whatever, than others. So like minority groups or like I don't know, anyone else that's not white are more equal than the white people. Like this is going to allow us to basically
Hold up.
Shit.
Should I answer?
Is it the
Hello?
We'll be back in a moment.
Going on to more important topics. What were you talking about?
about Canada potentially becoming a fucking police?
Oh yeah, like completely censored, like China,
Yeah. Like they're trying to censor emotions.
or like in what is it, Saudi Arabia, that you can't talk bad about. What is it, the king?
I think the king and God.
Right.
Definitely not God. You can't talk bad about God.
Yeah, or you're gonna, and I mean, it's a whole religion that's actually pretty implemented. Like everyone actually truly respects it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, obviously there's repercussions if you don't respect it, but people actually believe it. That's where I'm going at.
Yeah.
They're not doing it just to not get the consequences. It's because they actually respect God and stuff in their religion, which I don't think that's bad. But censorship, bro. I don't think a person should be restricted to what they can and can't say.
Right.
I think that just makes an individual thinker not an individual thinker.
There was this quote that one of the dudes on the podcast said as well. He was like, well, I don't remember it entirely, but I'm going to simplify what he said. So this quote goes, I don't like what you're saying. I don't agree with what you're saying, but I will fight to make sure you have the right to say it.
Yes, I agree with that.
So like freedom of speech isn't about just making sure that everyone agrees with your philosophy. It's about understanding that everyone has a voice, and no matter if you agree with it or if you don't, they have the right to say what they want to say.
It's an attack on emotion, creating more emotional people and less stoic people, I think, is what creates the lack of understanding that everyone is a free thinker and that everyone has an individual mind and that you don't know what another person is thinking, so you have to respect if what comes out of their mouth you don't agree with. You know, that's a lack of understanding, I think, that has been created because of this whole, we need more empathy and we need more it's okay to be weak, it's okay to be fat, it's okay to I don't care who you love, who you have sex with, who you are attracted to. I don't care. But one, don't shove it in my face. And two, keep it to yourself. Like, I'm not going to go out and just be a dick to someone that is gay. You know what I mean? I respect you. I understand whatever you want or whatever. You're an individual person apart from me, you know? But if I say something that offends you, you have to do the same. Because if you say something I don't agree with, I'm not gonna go up to you and be like, well, actually, you can't say that, because no. I'm gonna move on with my life. I'm gonna keep walking. I'm gonna finish whatever I was doing, why I was there in the first place, and move on with my life. Like, that takes too much energy. And people are so focused on things that don't have value that they forget how much time we actually have in this world. You know, everything in my brain ties up to everything else, and they want to divide people. They want people to be divided. They want people to go outside and be sensitive to any backlash that they might get, you know. And like, the world is not like that. Truly, actually, nobody cares what you're thinking about. Nobody cares about your feelings. Nobody cares what you're going through, truly. I mean, obviously, if you have friends and you tell them about it, they're gonna care if they're actual friends. Anybody else, you can't expect them to treat you exactly how you want to be treated, you know, and then not reciprocate it. If you want respect, then respect me. That's all I'm saying. It creates this whole division, in that when people are divided, it's easy to manipulate the whole situation when you actually see the big picture.
They're trying to divide everyone and also keep them with an emotionally dominant decision-making brain.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have an emotionally dominant decision-making brain, it makes it impulsive and irrational.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I was just thinking in a scenario, like, let's say I was black and someone came up to me, like some Karen, and she told me, hey, you fucking, and then she calls me like the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to do in that situation? I could either, like, in the videos from X, I could either punch her, knock her out, I could walk away, I could record her. I don't know what, like, I think what they're trying to prevent are situations like that, right? Like Canada, the C-63 bill, they're trying to prevent situations like that so that the Karen could be held accountable for her words.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it kind of reminds me of the quote that I think George Washington gave it. George Washington or Benjamin Franklin, I don't remember. But they said, anyone that's willing to sacrifice a little bit of liberty for a little bit of safety deserves neither and will not receive. Fuck, I messed it up.
Right.
But they basically deserve neither one of it because they're willing to sacrifice a little bit of liberty for a little bit of safety. You need to be able to sacrifice, for example, in the Karen and black guy scenario, if you want freedom of speech, if you want to be able to say whatever you want, you have to understand that people are going to be able to do that to you as well.
Yeah.
Like, people are going to be able to tell you what you don't want to hear and call you insulting words. But that's something that you have to withstand in a free world.
Yeah, that is what people need to understand, that exists and is equality.
Uh-huh.
Like, obviously, there is this whole collective thought towards, or there's this whole collective preconceived notion of Karens that people have,
Okay.
you know?
Uh-huh.
People already know, oh, it's a Karen. Like, it became this thing where, oh, it's some white lady that is entitled and thinks that things should go her way. You know, we know that's a Karen.
Yeah.
And it is obnoxious, obviously. But if you want freedom of speech, then the Karen can do whatever the hell she's doing. You know what I mean? She can say everything she's saying. But you can also say things like, I'm not saying go up to people and just be rude. But if someone's being rude to you, then I think you can be rude back. Like, you know, and to a certain extent, still be the bigger person. Personally, I will most likely always be the bigger person because it's not worth my time.
Uh-huh.
But, like, I understand, for example, black people, they have gone through a constant, everyday, like, go out and be shamed simply for being black.
Mm-hmm.
And that carries that trauma or those emotions towards white people or people that are not black are carried through generations.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, I do think that if you have a problem and you need to feed it energy for it to keep growing, then stop feeding energy so it can stop growing, right? So I think a lot of people still keep it alive because they keep talking about it, which I also understand why people keep talking about it. It's not like it was just a walk in the park. It was, like, shitty. You know, it was bad for black people. But I think it's like going to therapy. If you want your problems to go away, I don't think the most effective way for the problems to go away are to go talk about it and feed it more energy without actually doing anything. And it's easy to say, you know, obviously. Harder to do.
Bro, therapy is such, like, it's the definition of bullshit, bro. It is the definition of bullshit. The therapist has an incentive to make you come back because they need to make more money. And at the same time, think about it. If you're a business owner and you want advice on how to grow your business to a $10 million business, you're going to ask a person with a $10 million business how they got there, right? That's the same thing. I see it as the same way as emotional wealth. Like, if I have problems, then my cap is going to be wherever that therapist is in her life, right? And so if I cap at wherever the therapist is, that just seems like a limited way to think. Like, a therapist is just a person that is... I think a therapist is necessary for people that are not genuine and don't have genuine people in their lives to talk to, you know? Like, I think there's a demand for it, for therapists, but I also think the quality of the person that goes to therapy is low because of, like, it's a lot of introspective thoughts that you need to do for therapy. And if you don't do that already and with other people, then I think therapy is for you. But if you do have a bunch of introspective reflection on yourself and, you know, you're pretty self-aware about why you do things and how you react to things, I don't think you need therapy, bro.
Yeah. I think if you have actually have no idea how to even start to practice controlling your emotions, you should be exposed to therapy at least twice.
Yeah.
You know? At least 2 or 3 times. If by the 3rd time you're like, this is BS, dude, like, I'm not, you know? Then find another way. But don't... I think people just let it be. Oh, well, I'm gonna go drink because I'm sad. You know? Like, well, it's about that time of day.
Gotta go get the Coors Light.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, alright? Like, no, dude. Like, actually, working on yourself is not easy. It is not easy because when you work on yourself, you find out things about yourself that you're not proud of, you know? And a lot of people don't want to uncover or open that Pandora's box, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot of things that I found about myself that I did not like. I did not like the person that I was becoming, you know? And so I changed it. I learned, I looked for answers. Simply wanting to know answers about why things happen, personally or socially or anything, you will find the answers if you look for it.
Yeah.
You know? And I started learning about businesses or whatever, and they all talk about, in a nutshell, being stoic. Not being stoic isn't not feeling your emotions, but doing what you have to do to resolve a problem regardless of your emotions. You know? I'm not saying if you feel like crying, don't cry. I'm saying, okay, cry, but don't let it dread the rest of your life. Don't dwell in the pain, you know? Use the pain as fuel. And that's what I started doing, you know? And then I started learning about your environment and how that can impact the person that you become. You are you are the sum of the 5 closest people to you.
Yeah.
Like, that's a fact, because I was becoming like people that I didn't really want to be like, you know? And I was looking and searching in my brain and in society for people that I wanted to be like. Anyone I looked up to in a certain like, if they had a certain character trait that I was like, wow, that's really actually really strong, that's really interesting, or that's really intelligent, or whatever, I was gonna get close to that person to see, in a way, to be like them, you know, to be exposed to that type of mindset, to be exposed to the words that come out of their mouth, to pick their brain, you know, if they let me. And if it doesn't click, that friendship or whatever, then okay, on to the next one. But not settling because I felt lonely is key, and it's hard, you know? I have felt lonely in becoming the best version of myself, but it's a rite of passage whenever you are becoming the better person.
Yeah.
You know, like, feeling lonely is inevitable, but that's where the stoicism comes in. Still, do what you have to do. Don't fall for... Be strong enough to, or love yourself enough that you can go through that pain of being so extremely lonely, that you still don't fall back to old habits, you know? You still keep practicing the new habits that in the long run, I know those habits are going to bring me so much joy that I don't necessarily have right now, for example. Which I do have right now, because I am happy with my life. I love the person that I'm becoming, you know?
Yeah.
But there was a time where I was like, damn, bro. Like, am I even doing the right thing? Like, is this actually for me? Okay, well, what is it gonna do? Okay, well, and I would just have so many questions, you know? But I just kept going, because when you feel like giving up, and when people give up, that's why they don't succeed. And that's the mark that you have to surpass.
Bro, that's pretty much the only trait that all the successful people have. They just don't give up.
Exactly.
All the successful people just do not give up. That's the only trait. And it's just it's a trait of enduring pain.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more you endure pain, the more you'll be able to go through it. So I think the more pain you have, the better chances you also have of being successful, you know?
Or not, if you let it consume you.
Well, yeah, if you let it consume. But, like, for example, like, this just came to my mind. Francis Ngannou, he's like a UFC heavyweight champion.
Okay.
That motherfucker was in Africa, in the mines, like...
Mining?
Like, mining rocks. I'm pretty sure that's where... He was just, like, in a really bad environment. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. Francis Ngannou grew up in extreme poverty in Cameroon, and at age 10 started working in the African sand mines. He migrated from Cameroon across the African desert to Europe in pursuit of his dream of becoming a professional fighter.
Lol.
So he started off homeless at age, or like extreme poverty at age 10 working in African sand mines. He had extreme pain. Like, that life sucks, bro. Like, that's a really bad life to live, you know?
Just working your whole life until you die.
Yeah. And that's the pain he had to endure. So, becoming a UFC heavyweight champion was nothing for that, you know? So, like, he went through so much pain that all the pain for the UFC heavyweight champion was like nothing for him.
Yeah, it was durable.
It was extremely durable because of...
Because he had gone through worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, and another thing that came to my mind, like, when people say... I remember during the pandemic it started, it's okay to be weak. It's okay for this. It's okay for that. Honestly, be honest with yourself. You want to be characterized as weak? Like, you want to go up to someone and be like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm a really weak person. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. Nobody wants to be weak.
Right.
Like, if you want to be weak, then survival of the fittest. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, if you want to be weak, I think that's just idiotic. Nobody wants to be weak. And I'm not saying go get... Well, yeah, I am saying go get muscles. But, like, that's not just what I mean. Mentally resilient, that is so hard to obtain. Because once you start going down a path to practice your mental stability is going to be challenged, you know? Like, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, is going to test you. Because, oh, you want to be strong? Okay, I need to test how strong you're becoming. You know, if you have to work harder, then it's just... Nobody wants to be weak, bro. I don't believe that. Like, I think that's just an excuse in order to not work on what you have to work on.
Yeah.
Life is not supposed to be dreadful. What are the statistics that what's his face? Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Oh, I don't know.
Statistics on being born.
Oh.
The human genome is admirably complex, and it's fair to ask whether there is a finite number of humans it could make. The answer is yes, but it's 10 to the rise to the third. I don't know how to say that number. An incomprehensibly big number. The fact that you and I are alive is against stupendous odds. That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. And I've heard him say that. But it's a one in a number that I cannot pronounce. Like, that stupendous odds. You are here. You being alive right now is a miracle.
Yeah.
You being alive right now is one in however many stars are in this universe. And people don't understand that, and I think they take it for granted. And being the human is capable of being so strong. You letting it be weak, you shouldn't deserve to be here. Life, I don't think anything truly matters. But because nothing matters, you get to choose what matters. I've said this so many times.
Yeah.
You get to choose what matters. You get to choose what makes you happy and do what makes you happy. You know? Unfortunately, the people that knew this information also had evil intentions, I think.
Well, I don't think it's... I don't think anyone wants to be weak. I don't think anyone wants to be weak. But I do think people want to be comfortable. So, like, I think safety, comfort is easy. And it's okay to be weak. It's okay to be fat. It's okay to be whatever. It's... People don't want to be like, okay, I'm fat. Or, okay, I'm weak. But they do want to be safe and comfortable and full.
Yeah.
So,
and they try to fill that void with food, with sex, with drugs, with... I feel so good when I get out of the gym, bro.
yeah.
I feel so good because my brain and my body is full of endorphins that I just created due to that pain that I put my body through.
Mm-hmm.
Physical pain. Like, I am healthy. I take care of myself. I eat healthy, you know? And I feel good. There's not a day that I wake up and I'm like, fuck my life.
Yeah.
No, there's not a day that I wake up and I say that.
Yeah.
I love the life that I'm like. I feel so grateful for being born and given the life that I have and giving the mind and the consciousness that I have, you know? And it's something that anyone in this world is capable of. Anyone.
I think there's objective truths that people don't want to see as objective because they've been manipulated. They've been indoctrinated into believing otherwise.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, I'm sick right now. And when I usually get sick, I usually run. As soon as I'm sick, as soon as I feel sick, I go run. Or I go to the gym. And within, like, 2 days, 3 days, I'm done with my sickness. But, so I was at the gym today, and my grandma called me, and she was telling me, how are you feeling? And then I told her, oh, I'm okay, I'm at the gym. And she's like, you're at the gym? That doesn't do you good. So, for example, they've been indoctrinated into believing that exercise doesn't help you when you're sick. Like, for example, if old people are suffering from arthritis or from stuff that make them just be sitting down and laying down all the time, I've seen a bunch of studies that say that the only way to combat against that is by moving. Literally moving. You have to move in order for you to get more mobility, more range of motion in whatever range of motion you're trying to get to. But the objective truths that I'm talking about are exercise, food, and emotional stability, emotional control. I think those are the only objective truths of the world. If you eat good, if you exercise good, put your body through pain, if you are able to be stoic and be able to control your emotions, I think everything else that you want to conquer will be extremely easy to conquer.
And it's 100% true that people just want to be comfortable. Because with your diet, like for me, when I started eating healthy, I used to eat like crap. Like, simply a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is so unhealthy. Do you know how many preservatives that has? Like, it'll make the sandwich look intact for years.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't need preservatives like that. Like, it's so toxic. There's a reason why it tastes so good, bro. It's addicting. They want you to be addicted.
It was made to taste good.
But that's beside the point. Like, if you want to, people want to be comfortable so bad that even cooking is an inconvenience now.
Right.
Like, simply changing your diet, you can eat the same things. Just learn a home-cooked meal recipe for that dish, and it's going to become way healthier.
Right.
Like, just simply, instead of buying bread, bake bread. Instead of buying pizza, make a pizza. Instead of buying a burger, make a burger. Put on the grill, you know? Like, and it becomes so much healthier. Simply that. You can eat this. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to help people that can't do things cold turkey, which is also a mental limitation, because I used to think I couldn't do things cold turkey, and then I did things cold turkey, and they've been working out. But simply just anything that you eat, making it homemade makes it so much healthier.
I remember I was cooking in my kitchen, and my family was looking at me cooking, and they're like, oh, you like to cook? And I'm just like, I mean, I don't mind it. It doesn't really matter. But, like, that simple comment shows me that cooking is kind of rare, you know?
Now.
It's rare now because of all the convenience around us and the comfort, you know? So.
And also because you're a guy.
I guess. But, like, my point is, there's so much shitty food that is so convenient for us to get. It's it's so easy for us to just go buy food rather than cook it. And the reason it's so convenient is because convenience is the competitive advantage that any other corporation has to make money off of you.
Yeah.
Like, convenience is what they use in order to make money off of you. You could make that same exact meal for way cheaper. The only thing is that you're going to be getting it in a longer time.
Yeah, you're giving up your time. That's it.
Uh-huh.
And I do think time is of the essence. I do think time is really valuable. But time that you're using in things that make you healthier, I don't think that's wasted time.
Right.
I don't think that's if I take let's say an hour or 30 minutes to cook, but in the long run I'm not going to have heart disease, I think that's time well spent.
Yeah.
You know?
You're not going to be like one of those adults that are like, wait till you get older.
Wait till you're my age, you'll see. Like, no, I'm not going to see, because I'm not repeating your patterns when you were my age.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, you're the one that's drinking alcohol. You're the one eating fucking McDonald's. You're the one that's eating popcorn and candy when you go to the movies. You're the one that's putting poison into your fucking body. You imbecile.
I mean, and then people love convenience. Therefore, they are lazy. And ignorance is a sign of laziness, not incompetence. People are capable. They're just lazy.
Anyone is capable of doing anything, bro. Anything. Like, anyone can do anything. Maybe like Elon Musk has like a differentiated thing.
Now, Elon Musk didn't grow up rich.
That's true. He grew his company.
Elon Musk was obsessed with technology when it was our age.
Well, I guess it's just everyone is smart in their own way, and
like
you have
Jeff Bezos wasn't rich. That dude would literally deliver individual packages every day, package them and go deliver them so they could be shipped out.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is, like, I'm not thinking about their riches. I'm thinking about their intelligence. Like, I don't know if that's something that you must, like, a genius type, you know? Like,
like a prodigy?
Kind of. Like, I was listening to Elon Musk talk about why an airplane could go faster than the speed of... I can't even explain it. Like, I don't know.
Like rocket science?
Yeah, rocket science. Just say rocket science. And first of all, rocket science doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
So I'm not interested in understanding it. But even attempting to understand what he was talking about was extremely... Like, he used nuanced words and specific words. And I knew, like, that's extremely difficult to do, bro. Like, what he's doing is extremely difficult to do. I don't know if every human can do that.
Well, I think it's extremely difficult to do for someone that isn't interested in the topic.
Okay.
Because talent is just a pursued interest.
Yeah.
You know? If there's a kid that is 10 years old and they are super good at drawing, they've probably been drawing since they were 3 years old because it's an interest that they pursued. You know? And then they're called a prodigy because they're too young. But they don't come into, like, I don't know, like, I don't want to stereotype, but, like, Asian cultures, they put their kids in, like, to play instruments and to learn about this and to learn about that. You know, all those memes about them being super good at math and stuff like that.
Right.
It's because they are exposed to it and, to a certain extent, required to know these things at a really young age. You know, so when they get to... Americans, the U.S. people are the stupidest people, bro. But because that's what society wants them to be. They want you to be malleable. They want you to be vulnerable enough and to not believe in anything, so you will believe anything they put in front of your face. You know?
I mean, people want Americans to be weak because we live in the most powerful country in the world. And when I say powerful, I mean the most influential. Everyone gets influenced by America, by the United States of America. So the person that has the influence is the one that is extremely powerful. because that's who everyone looks up to. I don't think it's a factor of military or money or whatever. It's influence. That's the number. First of all, we're living in the attention economy right now, and America has all eyeballs on us. It's in every other country's best interest to make the citizens of America weaker.
Mm-hmm.
And they're succeeding in doing that. I don't know which countries it is, Russia, China, I don't know. But
or the US itself,
or the globalists. But it's succeeding because of all the chaos that's going on right now. like I can't even say that fat people are fat, you know? Like, for example, Canada, the C-63 bill. You can't use hate speech. If not, you're going to be potentially imprisoned.
for life.
Potentially.
It's crazy. A lot of people hated on Elon Musk for buying X, which I don't know Elon Musk personally. Okay? I can't talk about what type of person he is. But if a billionaire uses his billions to buy a platform to keep freedom of speech alive, I agree with that.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of hateful and videos that you don't want to see, that they're really graphic or whatever in that platform. But it's not things that are new to the world. It's just things that are new to you because you live in a neighborhood that you can walk and go for a walk with your dog and not be bothered by anyone. You know, it's things you're not exposed to. But the violence that it shows, it's not new to this world. It's just social media is new. Getting that information so instantly is new for everyone, for a human being, you know? Like, if you don't live in a hood or in a place where there is violence being expressed every day and people are exposed, like, to other people killing other people in their neighborhood, they're gonna be like, oh, well, yeah. They're gonna be so desensitized. But that's what they're exposed to. Like,
it's good that X is doing that because it's showing reality of the entire globe of Earth.
And freedom of speech also comes with reality and with honesty and dishonesty, because freedom of speech, people can say whatever.
Yeah.
And people can lie. Like, I don't trust everything that's in that platform, obviously.
Right.
But if it's something that is clearly objectively true, like, come on, man.
I mean, the whole COVID, bro, first of all, how are you going to try to discredit the platform when people don't even trust in mainstream media right now? Like, I trust more of individual journalists, obviously, rather than giant news organizations.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, for example, the COVID thing, like, now that all this stuff is coming out about COVID vaccines, like 2 of them being withdrawn from the market because of health issues and the vaccines causing health problems and all this stuff, like, during COVID, there was a bunch of people that were telling you were an anti-vaxxer if you didn't want to get vaccinated.
I know, and they were called conspiracy theorists, and yeah.
But that was planted by the fucking globalists, or the people that organized this entire vaccination process.
The people that made the vaccines free for the first time ever. Wait, let me search that up.
It's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I remember getting a vaccine. I think I got sick after the vaccine, bro. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I did, actually. But I definitely.
And then they
caught
try
COVID.
to scare you with, if you don't get the vaccine, you can't travel.
And then you go
Bruh.
to the airport, and then they're like,
Nobody asks for it.
come along.
Nobody asked for it. And my mom made me get, like, the 3rd vaccine or some shit
Yeah.
because of the fear that they inflicted. I was traveling to Europe with my sister. And she was like, no, you guys can't travel if you guys don't get this. And I was like, Mom, you don't need this many vaccines. Like, I'm not trusting this. Why do I need that many vaccines? I'm healthy. I'm young. Like, I shouldn't need this many vaccines. I'm not even sick. You know, I got sick. I didn't even feel it. I don't feel sick. I don't need this vaccine. And she got scared because, well, I mean, we had paid a lot of money for that trip, you know, so the fear factor just worked on her, that they were trying, that they effectively
It's just a
put out
vaccine.
there.
It's free. Just
No,
go get
they
it.
want you to be healthy. It's for your health. Like, I don't even trust doctors at this point.
Right.
And it sucks because I'm not knowledgeable on the full human anatomy.
Yeah.
You know? I'm learning little by little, you know, with things that I care. Okay, I want this to be good. What do I need to do? Okay, well, what do I need to take?
I
But
definitely don't trust drugs, like pharmacy products.
pharmaceuticals.
Pharmaceutical drugs. Like, definitely not, bro. I'm not. I'd rather take herbs and try to figure out a way to do it through the objective truths of the world, which is the earth, whatever comes out of the earth, and exercise, rather than a pharmaceutical drug that is going to make someone money. No, thank you. What are you searching up?
If the COVID vaccine was the first one to be free.
Oh.
I don't know. It didn't say. Well, honestly, I don't know how to search up in the web that well.
COVID-19 vaccines were not the first vaccines to be distributed for free. Many vaccines, like those for measles, mumps, rubella, polio, and others, have been provided free of charge through various government programs and initiatives around the world for decades.
I forgot ChatGPT was a thing.
I just think it's so great that we have this information at our fingertips. Like, we don't have to be stuck in ignorance, like in pre-internet.
I asked, was the COVID vaccine the one that has needed the most doses? And it said yes. COVID-19 vaccine typically requires 2 doses for full vaccination. Although some vaccines may require only 1 dose, this 2-dose regime has been necessary to ensure maximum effectiveness in building immunity against the virus. 2 doses. There's people that have like 6 doses.
Yeah. At least 4.
At least 4 doses.
I've
Like,
heard of 4. Yeah.
I think I have 4, bro, because my mom made me get it. I don't know, but it is bullcrap.
I just think it's frustrating that we live in a world of ignorant people, but not because they're stupid, but because they choose to be ignorant.
Yeah.
They choose to not want to learn and do things, and honestly, who gives a fuck about them? Like, it doesn't really... You can't do anything to control anyone. I think...
I mean, not directly, you know.
But I honestly, I kind of understand, to a certain extent, like, the globalists' perspective. Like, if people are this easily manipulated and influenced, then I kind of understand why they would want to do it. You know, I understand why. If you see a bunch of sheep bumping into the walls, like, why would you could either be a good person and teach the sheep not to bump into the wall, or teach the sheep to go over here instead, or you could grab the sheep, take all of its coat off, and kill it for food.
Or corral it or guide it to wherever they're going to be living inside your gate or your property.
Yeah.
And then just have them for more cheap coat in the future. And then create a business out of it.
I don't feel the frustration anymore. I feel like I've repeated myself too many times. I don't feel the frustration of the ignorant people, but I do feel the... Because, for example, I was about to say I do feel the helplessness. But I only say that because right now there are like 7 to 8 corporations that control all of the media. Yeah, there's 6. Okay, so 90% of the media in the United States is controlled by just 6 corporations. AT&T, CBS, Comcast, Disney, News Corp, and Viacom. 90% of U.S. media control... 90% of the media is controlled by... Wait, did I fuck that up? Well, 6 corporations control all of the media right now. So they control... 6 corporations control all the movies you watch, all the television that you watch. They make sure that anything you see on a TV is going according to their script. Going according to their agenda. I was watching this one documentary on the fall of Hollywood, and how like Hollywood how a bunch of studios are losing money because people don't want to go to the cinema anymore because people are becoming lazy and they want to stay home and watch streaming.
Netflix, watch.
Use streaming services, yeah.
HBO Max.
I think we're starting to realize how low quality the movies are at the movie theater, you know? Like, out of all the movies, the only movies I remember are Spider-Man, where all the 3 Spider-Men came together, and Dune. Those are the only movies I've ever wanted to see ever in the movie. Like, well, this past 3-4 years. I don't know how long it's been. I think the quality of the movies is specifically made for profit. I think they're just trying to repeat whatever story patterns for profit. For example, Disney is just coming up with more sequels and remakes to profit. The 2 movies that succeeded this past year was Barbie and Oppenheimer, but I think they're already like going to make a sequel to Barbie as well.
Already?
I mean, they've already announced it.
I feel it even like there's no authenticity anymore.
But that same thing happened in the 1960s. That same thing happened. What's happening now happened in the 1960s. Like, a bunch of greedy, hungry studio owners were just trying to pump out movies in order for profit, and not for the message of the movie or for the quality of the movie. Or for the art.
Film. Uh-huh.
And so in the end, what happened was all the independent movie directors were the ones that grew to the top. So that's something that could potentially happen now.
Like even, because, all this, I don't know what all the BS that is going on with Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Oh.
And all them. But I saw this video of some dude talking about it. And he was saying how, like, there's no... It feels like it's the end game, like Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
But of hip-hop. Of actual true hip-hop where the words of the rap matter,
Uh-huh.
Like that all these new rappers, they're just doing it for the money. They're just doing it to be a rapper, and they all sound the same. Like that Kendrick Lamar and Drake and J. Cole, they're the last generation of good rappers. Or, good hip-hop artists that... Well, in a way, live up to the name of, or Ice Cube, or, well, it's 'cause not really, but of hip-hop. They live up to the name of hip-hop rapper.
Yeah, like they actually have something to say.
Exactly, like when you hear their songs and you hear what they're saying, you're like, oh, burned him, or some shit, or like, that shit was good, or stuff like that. Like, now it's just like
Bro, I don't listen to any hip hop now. Well, I only listen to like old bangers, like from Kanye or Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole. But you're right, like everything. But
and he was saying, because I was like thinking, because when you said that about like this happened in the 1960s, I was thinking that about hip hop. Or what they say is going on in music right now. Like, there's not a sign. He was saying, if there was the next Kendrick Lamar, we would have known about him by now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And I was thinking, well, right now it's probably gonna go into a shit period. It's probably going down on a low period. But then there's gonna be some woke rapper.
Yeah.
That is gonna be like Tupac, or is gonna be like Ice Cube, or is gonna be like J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar, and is gonna bring it back up.
Yeah.
It's just gonna go like how it goes, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I mean, if the movie cinema field, if that happened in the 1960s, then I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen again. Like,
yeah.
History repeats itself. That's just how it goes. Same with that these rappers always bite each other's flows.
Yeah, but there's no AI back then.
Oh, yeah.
There's no artificial intelligence, and there's no... Like, I think... like for example, if I could make a whole movie, I think I could make a dope ass movie.
With Sora.
With Sora, I think I could, if I was able to learn it in a year, and I think I could make a dope movie based on what I've seen from Sora.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be a new Up. Like up and down, up and down. Like the movies are not like the 1960s, bro.
Right.
You know, now. But if it's happening, what I meant by history repeats itself, I don't think it's gonna go back to how it was. I think it's gonna come back up in a different way.
Okay.
You know? Like, I don't think it's gonna stay low.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's gonna go back to the same old things, because the same old things already died. You know? It's like your bloodline. Your grandpa died already, and then next is your dad, and then next is you, and then your child, and then their child, and then their child. You know what I mean? But they're all versions of each other, but through evolutionized, or
Yeah.
versions of each other that have evolved
Yeah.
through the time. So I think it's gonna come back up. That's what I mean, but differently, not the same. Yeah, especially with AI, dude. Like, simply with how they can recreate how Drake brought Tupac out to diss Kendrick Lamar or some shit. It was a hologram.
I didn't see that.
I think that is shitty, but like, they can do that. We have that type of technology now.
Yeah.
You know, like, or how they make videos with famous people's voices that sound exactly the same, bro.
I think it's gonna be easier to become an artist.
Well, I think there's gonna be a new hard of real artist.
Yeah.
Because if it becomes easy to become an artist, then it becomes easy to be inauthentic. And I think everybody is always going to get tired of the same. You know?
I mean, bro, like, listen to what is going on. Like, listen to all the trending music right now. It's garbage. It's all garbage. They have no substance to them. All they're talking about is drugs, money, sex, guns. Like, there's nothing to it, bro. They're focusing on how much money they can make. They're not focusing on how much they can impact the culture.
Yeah.
That's what they're focusing on.
And that's what hip hop started like.
On impacting the culture.
Yeah, like Ice Cube, NWA.
Yeah.
Like all the riots that would come up from their music, and people, journalists that didn't understand where they come from would question them on, well, don't you think all the violent things that you guys talk about in your music is going to impact the world negatively and create more violence? And they were like, well, we write about what we are exposed to. You know, like, we write about what we get out of, or, well, in the movie, right? He was like, what do you see when you get out of your house? I don't know if that actually happened in real life, but that is basically what they were doing. That's their message. We are exposing what we are exposed to every day. That's why other people that aren't exposed to that don't understand where all this pain is coming from, where all this violence is coming from. It's not something that they made up in their brain. It's something that they are truly exposed to every day.
Yeah. I think that takes it back to X and, like, freedom of speech. Like, it's necessary to see the pains of reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I remember, well, talking to a bunch of ignorant people and telling them about the truth of reality. Their excuse to not being educated on it is, it doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
So that's the ultimate excuse for the ignorant people that want to stay unconscious. But it doesn't affect you yet, because it's all just a domino effect that will eventually get to you, you fucking idiot. You know? It's all going to eventually get to you, and when it does, it's going to be too late, because it's already been so powerful, because it's been years in the making of a domino effect.
Like, have you seen those dominoes that it starts from a little one and then a bigger one, bigger one, bigger one,
Yeah.
bigger one, and then the biggest one is like falling super slow because it's so big?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly like that. Like, for example, all the rap music that goes on right now, right? An example of the domino effect. All the rap music that goes on. Imagine if this continues for the next 50 years, right? All the youthful generations of the new youth of rap are all going to be singing about drugs, sex, money, and guns and gangs.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, it's going to affect you because your kid is going to become of age and they're going to be influenced by that type of music. Okay? And whatever your kid does will be influenced by the music. Eventually, it's going to get to you. Eventually, the domino effect will get to you. It just depends on how much it affects you. It's such a selfish way to think as well. Like, well, it doesn't affect me, so I'm not going to do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a coward says. That's not what a man says. So I think that's also what the globalists or the people in control of the world are trying to enable you to do, which is not stand up for what is right.
Stay weak. It's good to be weak.
Stay vulnerable.
It's good to be weak. It's okay to be weak. No, it's not. Because then you're not free. You're not a free thinker. You can't do whatever you want if you're weak.
You'll be taken advantage of.
Yeah, you'll be told what to do for the rest of your life. And if you're okay with that, then survival of the fittest.
Exactly. Survival of the fittest, and we'll see you on the other side if there even is one.
Survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive.
But
Mob Deep.
we'll probably all just disintegrate into the cosmos or
Bro,
disintegrate
low-key,
into- I don't think we're
like, if you're watching this and you're this deep into the podcast, comment down below what you think happens after death. You know? Like, I want to see new theories. Like, everybody either nothing, you're going to heaven, or you're going up into the cosmos, or going back to where we came from, where the fuck is that? I think I'm just gonna maybe reincarnate in a different planet, and I'ma look different, like an alien to us now, but if I reincarnate as that organism, it's gonna be normal for me, you know? Like, what if you reincarnate in a planet that exists right now, and you have 3 fingers? You know, and you're gray.
No more
or-
jerking off, that's the thing.
Or like you're orange and you have blue eyes, and that's normal for everyone. And like everyone is naked, but you have to cover your hands because that's your private part.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? You know, like my brain just goes wild.
I think our energy just I don't even think we're able to fathom it. I don't think we're able to. I don't think you could. I think if God came down and tried to explain it to us, he wouldn't be able to.
He'd be like,
He'd have to like
we'll die.
put his hand on our finger. Well, I don't believe God is a he or she or human. I think God is an it. I think it just is.
It's an entity.
I don't even know if it's an entity. I think it's just a like
It just is.
like plants are alive right now.
Yeah.
Plants are alive right now. They don't have any way of communicating with us.
Well, they do. We just don't know how. Like, people that study plants know that shit. Like, but yeah, they are the planet. Plants are the planet.
What if God is that? What if it's not the planet? What if God is the universe? You know? God isn't anything. It just is.
Dude, what if our whole universe is inside an atomic molecule or an atomic particle that came from God farting, and we're just in God's fart living a blip?
Well, what is God farting? Is God a human as well in that?
Well, I don't know. Like, for God to fart, he would just have to have a digestive system kind of like ours.
Honestly, if
It's
that
really
was
human,
imagine if a scientist told you that was true, what would you do?
I'd be like, well, because if you fart, how long does a fart linger? You know, like a few seconds? And then, well, we're living, how long has this been around? 14 billion years? Time is relative Like, for God, it's gonna be a fart and go like that, and that's it. And for us, it's been 14 billion years. Like, that would blow my mind. And I'd be like, really? That's it? That's it? Like, where am I gonna go when I die? An atomic molecule in his armpit?
Honestly, well, first of all, there'd be no way of proving that ever. But let's say God did come down and told us that.
He was like, honey boo boos. Like,
I think that'd be the most hilarious thing ever. I think I would live my life with such
joy.
not even like just apathy towards everything.
Apathy?
Yeah, I would just not care about anything. I mean, I already do not care about anything, but even more like I'd walk out barefoot and stuff. Like, I think it would just be ridiculous, bro, if that were the case. Like in Rick and Morty, when he found out that Rick was the creator.
Of the battery?
Yeah, Rick went down to the battery. He realized that Rick
So-
was the creator of the battery. Oh,
Yeah, for those of you that don't know it, or haven't seen Rick and Morty, there's this episode where he has a spaceship. And so in his spaceship he has a battery that is like the battery of the car.
Rick has a spaceship.
Rick has a spaceship. And so in the battery of the car, it uses a specific energy, or the way that it powers the battery is by Rick created a civilization inside a world inside the battery that works, and they are created to work and create that energy to power his spaceship. And so he is able to go into the world. And so he went into the world in one episode because it stopped working. And so when he went into the world that he created, he found out that one scientist was conscious enough and smart enough to create another world. So they had been fed lies, and Rick was seen as a god there. Or as a creator. No, as a god or something.
As a god.
As an alien.
As an alien.
Yes, as an alien. He was seen as an alien that would visit them or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he met this scientist that created another little world inside of a computer or something like that to create the energy that they needed in order for their world to still be alive, or to, yeah. Basically, the scientist inside of the world that Rick created the same thing that Rick did. So it was a simulation inside a simulation inside of a battery.
And so Rick went down to try to... So when the battery stopped working, Rick went down, and then he tried to figure out why it wasn't working. And then exactly what Fed said, like the scientist created another simulation for them to get energy from that specific simulation. And so both Rick and the other scientist went into the simulation that the scientist created. And Rick told... Or not Rick told, but... it's too...
Well,
it's
he
confusing and
basically
long now.
told the people inside there that they had been created, or something like that, not to destroy it.
One of the scientists there was creating another simulation, so that
It just became this whole thing.
it's just a butterfly effect. But the thing is,
Domino effect.
domino effect. And
What is a butterfly effect?
I don't think that would make me live my life any different. If that were the case here, if God told me that was going on, if we were in a simulation inside of a simulation inside of a simulation, I don't think my life would be lived differently. I think I would still be doing the same things. Just making it in this reality, because if that's the case, if we're in a simulation inside of a simulation, how the fuck are we going to get out of it into the original simulation? Why would we want to be in the original, or not simulation, the original reality, base reality?
What would we be? Like, who decided that we're humans? That we're called humans?
Yeah.
Like, who came up with the alphabet? Like, words are just sounds put together.
Yeah.
Who said that H doesn't have a sound? Or that it's like unless it's next to the C, then it has a sh sound. Like,
That's intelligence right there, honestly.
what the heck, bro?
That's intelligence. That's human intelligence, like being able to create a language.
Or
so that we
human
can-
creativity. Like, honestly, creative people, I think they have to be smart. They have to be intelligent of some type. Like, people, when they hear, oh, you're smart, they just think academically or about things that you're really never going to use in your life. Like, if some guy is a math major and they want to be a mathematician like Einstein or like Stephen Hawkins, and they are really smart in that topic, they're going to be called smart, but that's just what they're interested in. Like, they're smart in that topic. Ask them hood questions. They're not hood smart. Like, it's all perspective. It's subjective.
Yeah, they're not street smart whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
They're book smart. C63 bill. Don't go to Canada.
Don't go to Canada.
I hate Canada. Use this as hate speech, Canada.
Like, sometimes it's even I've learned so many things in the beginning of this journey that I have started about the world and about how people are, that I sometimes can't even enjoy things that I used to. Simple things, like, just because I know the reality. Most people just go out or do events or talk about having the tea, to distract themselves about how shitty their life actually is. And they don't notice it. They don't notice why they actually care about these things. I don't care who you're dating. I don't care who the person that I don't talk to is dating, bro. And people care about this because they have nothing else better going on for themselves in their lives. And it's something people don't want to hear.
Right.
So it's something people are going to deny. Or it's something people that are going to be like, well, I can still learn, or I can still talk about it. Well, it doesn't really do me. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
Like, dude.
I was gonna say you're focusing on the wrong things to be focusing on, but I don't think it's the wrong thing. I think it's just a small thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're focusing on a small thing. Like, who gives a shit that a person just I don't know, has a boyfriend, or like who
Or
cares?
also, like, celebrities. There's people that know
Yeah.
everything about celebrities. Like, they know all the tea. They know I'm pretty sure I could go up to some little boy and be like, yo, what's the beef with Kendrick Lamar and Drake? And they're going to tell me every single detail about it.
Yeah, but
you know?
they care about that because they're interested in it, and they're not interested in anything else because they are exposed to a wrong system, I believe. Like, imagine if they were exposed to how to make millions of dollars. You don't think they'd be interested in that instead? Or you don't think they'd be
Yeah.
interested in, like, something that makes them... Maybe it's a kid that is nerdy, wants to learn about computers, or maybe it's a kid that is passionate about farming, wants to farm. Like, that's just all they have right now. You know, all they have is, like, stupid shit like Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, but in reality, I think it's actually bigger. I think it's kind of another domino effect, exposing the pedophiles in the Hollywood scene even more, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it's good. That's why I like it, because Kendrick Lamar is saying truth about pedophilia, which is terrible.
And I mean, because he's saying it, but
There's proof, too.
yeah. Is theirs?
Well, I mean, Drake has groomed little girls. Like for example, Millie Bobby Brown, he was talking to her before she was, like, 18 and stuff. There's some other girls that he was talking to before they were 18, and he's like, I can't wait till they're 18. So
I don't know. That's crazy.
yeah, he like, that's all. Like, he would tweet about it. That would come out on Instagram.
He would tweet about Millie Bobby Brown? Or he would tweet about, I can't wait
I
for
can't
them
wait.
to be
I can't wait
18.
for them to be 18. And it came out on Instagram. I remember I was in middle school or high school, and it came out on Instagram that he was talking to Millie Bobby Brown, and he was being flirty, and people are, like, laughing about it. They're like, Drake, you know? But now that it's all serious, it's different.
Let's see what ChatGPT. There is no credible evidence or accusations to suggest that Drake is a pedophile. It's essential to rely on verified information to avoid spreading unfair rumors. Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Shut up, ChatGPT. You depend on the globalist information.
Did Drake tweet about not being able to wait for girls to be 18? Bro, she copy pasted the same thing. There is no credible evidence to suggest that.
I don't think you should be asking ChatGPT. You should be asking the culture.
I should be asking what?
The culture, like Instagram or some shit.
X.
Oh, my phone died.
No. Hello. I'm over here. We're ending the podcast now.
Bye.